And hi guys, and welcome to this live review of the latest and actually the very first episode of Tithes, the new Warhammer 40k animation over at Warhammer Plus, and this is called Sacrifice. So this is going to be an anthology series, no less, but this first episode is like a continuation after continuation of Paran Nexus. If you have seen that on Warhammer Plus, it was their absolute best animation yet. It was just well, pretty great. They never did anything on that level, but it was done by M2 Studios, who also did the 9th edition trailer. Not sure about the 10th edition, but they did the 9th edition with Sisters of Battle, if you remember, the Necrons and the Ultramarines, and it was just a CGI perfection, you can say. So following this quality and this level, they did Pariah Nexus pretty damn well. For some reasons, Steam is turning on right now. Okay, I'm just going to exit it so you don't have to hear all of that. Okay guys, so yeah, here I'm just gonna play the trailer so I don't get any copyright issues whatsoever. So yeah guys, this first episode is 17 minutes. I have no idea what they're going to show in the other two. The first episode premiered today as well on Warhammer Plus, and because I don't have it, I'm watching through a friend's account, just so you know. I'm not giving GW any money so far, but this is a very high quality. So let's start with the meat of this review. So guys, when you expect a high quality animation from GW and they deliver, it is actually really amazing because yes, they did actually. The story follows two Astartes. One is the salamander Sakan, who we seen in Pariah Nexus, and he still has not got his arm fixed. I mean, he's still without his arm. I'm not going to go into spoilers, just telling you some overall, like, well, the premise of the story, things like that. And next to him is this apothecary of the Ultramarines. He's a very, very cool guy, of course, but he and Sakan have some disagreements about what it's like to be a space marine in general. They just talk about certain things that are extremely interesting. I mean, I really grown to appreciate dialogue, especially written by certain writers. Sometimes when you listen to a 40k book, you can hear amazing dialogue between Astartes. Right now, I started listening to the latest not the latest, but I just finished No Fear, that book about Gilliman, Logar, and so on. And now I started to listen to the Primarch book of Gilliman because I'm so interested in Gilliman in general. He is like my second favorite Primarch, and I just wanted to know even more about him. So I'm going to go through all the Primarch's books. That's the plan. But I'm starting with Gilliman, then probably we'll continue with Sanguinius, who is actually my number one Primarch. But like Gilliman, as an acting Primarch right now, he's totally my number one Primarch because of his, well, his practicality of thinking and just stoicism, the ways that he is very, very, like, you know, logical and direct in certain line of thoughts. And I never got the idea that the Ultramarines themselves are not very humanitarian. I just never got that. I know that the salamanders are a lot more. They just love humans and they will prioritize human beings above all things, which is absolutely great. And you can see that in Brian Nexus, and you can see that here with Sakan and how he thinks and their conversation. That is extremely fascinating in this episode. So when it comes to the dialogue, you follow these two guys throughout this episode and they talk, but also some action is there to be found. So it's not like there isn't. They have to investigate and find out what is happening with the missing bodies of the Ultramarines that fell on this world. And of course, the apothecary has to extract the gene seed. Sakan has sworn an oath to go after this leader of the Necrons that you seen, in Pariah Nexus. So that is all well and good. It's really interesting, his motivations, the fact that he has no arm but he's still absolutely amazing in battle, and then of course you see what happens with these two guys overall. So yeah, that is it. Really, it's 70 minutes, but it is absolutely great. The world building, so to speak, the way that they traverse the sector that they're in, and everything that happens in between, how the Necrons are shown, everything is perfection, Warhammer-ness. So there's nothing there for us to be worried about in terms of if you are worried that this is now woke or whatever. It is absolutely not. It is solid Warhammer 40k in its full glory, the way that we all dreamt of seeing Warhammer 40k. I mean, we can see a ton more of 40k, there's so much more, of course, but point being that when you talk about Space Marines, when you talk about how they interact between each other, when you see different chapters interact, it is just very, very fascinating. And they even called each other cousins at some point, which was absolutely great. So, when anybody is asking me, Gary, who is your favorite Primarch or chapter, it's, I'm telling you also, I mean, also, I every time I'm like a bit in between, but of course have to pick one. So if I do, I always say Sanguinius, then Gilliman. But then, guys, I also like Vulcan. It's just that Vulcan does not get that much of a screen time. I have to read more about him. What I didn't know and what I do know in general about him, I learned more from the last 3 books, The End and the Death, part 1, 2 to 3, because he was there next to Malcador the Sigillite, guarding him while he was on the Golden Throne, and you can see a lot of that quality. Of course, I know about his battle with Magnus and how heroic he is. And so I will probably shift more to him in the future. I will investigate, like learn more about him and more about the salamanders, because what I see here from Sakan, it's just epic. It is just epic. I mean, the care, how he puts humanity first, especially what I've seen from Pereira and Nexus, how he argued with the sister, who was very, very in her own head by this time. She turned around, in the end, she changed her ways, but she was so freaking religious towards the emperor to the point where she lost all meaning of the fact that the emperor actually does want to build humanity up. And that's a very, very long topic, guys, of course. But the point is, she was very into her head and not feeling anything for the people that she was supposed to protect. She saw them as the enemy, as the heretics that did nothing. But she forgets her place, that she's the one that has to protect them. But Sakan remembered that. I mean, he cannot forget that he basically told her how things really are. So yeah, that is all amazing and all fascinating. So if you are a Warhammer fan, what to tell you guys, this is a must-see. And the other 2 episodes are going to premiere in the coming weeks, which is very not specified. They cannot probably, commit to any dates for some reason. So they just say, well, in the next few weeks. That's really not satisfying at all. What there, guys, is really, I mean, what I give in general, if there's no problems with GW and all those things, what I pay to see this, like $5 to see this, yeah, sure, if I had, money to spend, this is totally worth seeing. It is very, very high quality. The thing is that you might need another subscription to see the next 2 episodes, or even another if they plan to release 1 episode each month, which it's just totally not fair. I mean, to spread the episodes so thin, considering that we hadn't had any quality animation for months, and the previous one was not very good. I didn't even review the previous one. I mean, it was compelling to a point, like most Warhammer things are, but considering that we have such a rich lore, they choose to cover this world of imperial titans, which is not that it's not cool, but to be invested in a family drama, which is what this was, I mean, it kind of falls flat overall. It does not feel very Warhammery, and the quality of the animation is not the same as here. Here is just top notch. I mean, at one point they both take off their helmets, and it's amazing to see how they talk and their facial expressions. Sakan looks the same as he did, of course, in Brian Nexus. The other story kind of resembles Gilliman a bit in the features, and he actually saw the merit of what Sakan was telling him, because really the salamanders are so different from all the other chapters, and they're just so noble, guys. I mean, they really touch my soul. The way that Sakan talks, how he explains things, how wise he is, because the Ultramarine was very like laser focused and just so, practical. I don't know. There's so many words that could be said. Very, very, a bit more cruel, you can say, in the ways that he thought about everything. And at one point there was a moment where he even doubted Sakan, which was ridiculous, just because he's not familiar with the salamanders. He thinks of them a bit less, but all of that was cleared out, let's say. So yeah, guys, fascinating, perfect animation, colors, everything. If you like the Necrons, you will like this. It's just it's great. It is worth the price. Is just that the way that GW is doing things with Warhammer Plus, how they are giving us a spoon an hour. That's a Bulgarian expression, like when you're eating, but you're not eating like in a sequence, you're just eating a spoon every hour. That's how this feels, the way that they're dropping these. But yeah, I would give this, because we haven't seen a ton so far, but this is the highest of the high so far. We see how this new Amazon episode of the anthology is going to be. That should be the highest quality yet. So far, what we've seen yesterday on Gamescom in the trailer, I covered that with Logan. It was very, very dark. It does not, it doesn't seem higher quality than this. It doesn't. But we'll see, because this is really, I cannot imagine anything higher than this, unless you go even to more photorealistic realm of the faces and everything else, and the armor and the textures, whatever you can think of. I don't know what engine or whatever they're using for this. I have no idea if they're even using a game engine for this. Maybe they just do animation some other ways. You can do, of course, a lot. You can use a tons of different things, really, but yeah, who knows? Who knows? The point is, it is freaking amazing as it is. There's just no problems with the lip syncing like usually we see with Angels of Death. There's a lot of problems with the lip syncing, and all the humans, their faces looked extremely like rubber, or something that is more akin to older animations, where when you see a human face, just everything moves like the face does not include different muscles. Everything is just like one piece or something like that. Of course, not as bad, but it's close. Here, you don't have any such problems in terms of the animation. Everything is just perfection. Perfection. So it is 10 out of 10. That is what I wanted to say. It's just a 10 out of 10. And if the future shows us something that is more 10 out of 10, I will tell you. But so far, this is what we have, is 10 out of 10. And thank you so much, Clayton, for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He says, the salamanders are so noble. Unless you are a Xenos child, then your goose is cooked well. Of course, of course. Hey, Wizzy Pillar is even here. Hey, I didn't see you there. Hi to you. What an honor. Thank you for coming, actually. Let us play. Oh, cool. You're doing this live. In any case, wanted to say hello over here. And again, well, let us play. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I'm always very focused on the review, so that's why I didn't see your comments there. But yeah, Wizzy Pillar and Let Us Play, thank you so much for being here as well. That's amazing. Thank you. So yeah, guys, that's my review. You can see this right now if you have a subscription or if anyone else can give you your account, you can see it. But yeah, the only thing that I would say that I don't like about these things Like, imagine what the heck is that? You know, Gary, what could that be? Yeah, well, that they're too short. I mean, 17 minutes is not that it's like so short, but damn it, it's so good that I just want it to be longer. That's the thing. If it's like only 30 minutes, I know that that's a lot because it's a high quality animation, but you know, 17 minutes, so short. Well, at least it's not 13 minutes because that could also be the case. Okay, so guys, me and Logan are going to play Black Myth Wukong just for fun. We're probably going to die 500 times. That's gonna happen in like 20 minutes. If you're interested in that, we're just gonna stream the game for fun, and hopefully we can at least kill one boss, okay? Between the two of us. Hopefully somebody manages to kill a boss. So if you like to watch that, we're going to be on in around 20 minutes. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you'd like to support me, links are down below to everything non-Slaanesh that I do, you know where. And of course there's Patreon. But yeah, guys, see you soon. And once again, thank you, dear Clayton, for the super chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.